So Spotify, so here's the other thing about this that I think is really, really cool is Spotify is making a run at all kinds of industries right now.
Oh, yeah, man.
TSTO.
TSTO.
That's crazy.
Story time.
Okay, so here we're moving on to something that I'm actually excited about.
Near and dear to your heart.
Because you cannot pick these foods that are bad for you to eat. And most of the time, you cannot pick who wins awards. Right? When award shows are happening, you can't pick them because the Academy will pick them. But
Not anymore.
Spotify is going to fix that.
Not anymore.
Spotify is launching its own music awards based on streaming data.
This is tight.
This is awesome.
And they're probably going to do it based on genre.
Well, they'll do all of it. Like,
yeah.
There is so much they can do here and now, especially with them also talking about getting big on podcasts. There's already podcast awards, but now Spotify will have their own podcast selection. Mm-hmm. Like, this is awesome because it's actually based on real listener data.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And not just that. They're taking that whole
Jake.
thing. Don't give me a bell for that. Don't do it. Don't
Buzz your girlfriend. Woof.
So they're taking basically that whole end of the year analytics thing where they say they take all the artists that you listen to and like your top artists, and they're doing that for like the country, right?
Yeah.
And then like not only that, but the world, and then like all time too. And they're turning that into this, which I think is awesome.
Yes.
Because now like whenever you go on Spotify and you scroll down to the bottom where you can find out artist information, if they're within like I think it's the top 500 or maybe 1,000 artists, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
It shows you where they're ranked in the world. So like Led Zeppelin's like 252nd in the world, right?
Dude, and you know something that actually is really cool about that is, let's say your favorite artist is like really close. Mm-hmm. You just put them on repeat and you're basically voting for them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? Like this is so awesome. And
unless
unless
they do calculate it based on user and not by play.
I mean, I guess they could do it both ways
because they do have like they have
most plays and most followers.
Right. They have both. They have both that information.
Right.
They can say that either like we have like 17,000 monthly
listeners. But they'd have to do it on plays because they'd have to do it on plays because if somebody's necessarily following them but maybe doesn't listen to them, doesn't necessarily give them value to say they're actually like voting for them. So it would have to be on listens on some level. But I think it would have to be a combination.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not figuring it out.
Yeah,
but I'm just glad they're doing it.
Yeah, I am too, man. I don't want to see any more of this Grammy BS.
Oh, or AMAs or all of this like buying
Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. No.
Although
when they do get slimed, it is pretty.
Although
fun.
I wouldn't mind receiving one of those rewards.
Right.
I mean, if they're just giving them out,
give us a Tony. Give us a Tony because we're so good at the.
Wait, are you getting to the EGOT? Are you going towards the EGOT? EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah,
I really want one then.
So it's getting all four.
Oh,
it means you're an EGOT because you have all four.
Don't call me what I'm not.
Oh. So Spotify. So here's the other thing about this that I think is really, really cool is Spotify is making a run at all kinds of industries right now.
Oh yeah, man.
With them pushing the podcast like we talked about last week, they're getting huge celebrity people to be involved in the podcast space with them, and they're creating their own original content. Now Spotify, hey, we would gladly be original, podcast for Spotify. But they're doing that.
I don't smell that bad in person.
They bought Anchor, so they're moving that way. But you can't smell you through the camera, so it's okay.
But like, if we end up having to go to Spotify and like,
no, but we'll just do it remote, and it'll be okay. It's less money for them.
Or like the big heads that just like, hello Spotify, we'd like to offer you a deal. I can't spin around in circles.
No, Jake, stop. Jake, stop. Just stop. Just be done. Okay. So, but Spotify, and in the music space, I think Apple's in trouble.
Oh, Apple has started to become more and more in trouble since Spotify has started to take over a lot of these.
Well, and I was looking at all the things that music-wise that I have through Apple, and the fact that I go mostly to, now I know you're not a fan of it. I go to Pandora. I like Pandora because I like them to mix up the songs for me. Okay. I go to Spotify, and then I go to Amazon Music just because it's through my Alexa devices, but I only go to Apple like hardly ever.
Yeah, never.
And I think the radio product on Spotify is better. radio product.
Well, you know what
And
killed Apple?
iHeartRadio.
You know what killed Apple? Apple Music.
You think so?
I 100%
you know what?
think so.
I think so too.
Because Apple had this almost like monopoly.
They
for
did.
the longest time.
Oh,
where
yeah.
It was essentially just like, if you want music on your phone, you got to buy it.
You got to buy it.
And then you have apps that you can get through our app store that can end up helping that, right?
Right.
Well, then all of a sudden Spotify gives you the opportunity to listen to whatever you want on their catalog, which is basically everything.
Basically everything.
and
What's
then-
not on Spotify's catalog?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, well.
No, like there's a few major artists that refuse to have like their stuff on Spotify. I
But
can't
for
think of
how
all
much
of them.
longer?
Oh yeah, no, I have
that's
no
the thing.
idea.
Is if Spotify gets this way, and then artists are like, "Well, I want a Spotify award," then they might actually jump in.
Yeah, the thing that I don't understand is if Taylor Swift was on Spotify, she'd be making buku.
Yeah, but Taylor Swift seems to be in her own
Well,
world.
she's probably like already.
She's already making buku.
But like, I'm just saying, like, I don't understand. Even if you're making buku, why you don't want to make more buku?
A little extra buku.
Yeah, let's make a lot of buku.
Yeah, let's make a lot of buku.
No recall on buku.
No, you know what? No recall on buku.
We're live.
Welcome.
First story.
That would be mind blowing.
Trending stories are taking over.
TSTO.
Why does he get a bell for that?
Next story.
Everybody get down.
According to the sounds, I'm not doing so hot today.
TSTO.
TSTO thing.
TSTOMG.
TSTO.
Story time.